News out of the White House overnight was National Security Advisor Flynn, General Flynn, has resigned. This came only 24 days into the administration. Marc Thiessen joins us now, American Enterprise Institute scholar. Marc, welcome back. Good to see you, sir.
Good to be with you, Stu.
There's turmoil within the administration. My question is it going to hurt the legislative agenda of repealing Obamacare, cutting taxes and getting rid of red tape?
I don't think that the Flynn controversy is going to affect any of that at all. I think General Flynn is going to be replaced by somebody very good, and the national security will move on. And you know, he's got a lot of big national security issues that he has to deal with, including North Korea threatening Japan and other, which could obviously impact our economy if that escalates. So he's got to get his national security team in order. However, I think the bigger threat to all of those priorities that you described at the opening of this hour is, quite frankly, the courts. The Democrats are going to sue Barack Obama over everything he does, and we see this with, you know, if people think that this lawsuit about the travel ban is bad, it's only the beginning. The Democrats are practicing a policy of obstruction up on Capitol Hill. We have the fewest cabinet secretaries approved by this time of any president in modern history, and they're going to practice a policy of obstruction by litigation. Yeah. They're going to sue to stop his Obamacare replacement. They're going to sue to stop his repeal of regulations. They're going to sue to stop his border enforcement. They're going to sue to stop anything that Barack Obama does. And they're going to be successful, Stuart, because the Democrats under Barack Obama packed the lower courts with liberal activist judges.
That's serious
stuff. They flipped
Marc.
most of the courts from liberal to conservative majorities, and so this stuff's going to come up to the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court fight is one of the most important things we can face. If you care about tax reform, if you care about all these economic priorities, we've got to have a Supreme Court that's going to uphold what Donald Trump does.
I just want to digress for 1 second, Marc. I'm sure you saw the press conference yesterday with Mr. Trudeau and President Trump. I'm sure you saw it. I got the impression that President Trump was unusually quiet, calm, very scripted. It looked like he read everything from notes, or not a prompter, but certainly from notes. And I don't think he answered any of the questions head on. Did somebody get to the president and quieten him down?
I think that he's actually, after a tumultuous a couple of weeks, he's actually calmed himself down. And look, I mean, part of it rests with the responsibility of the person who is his interlocutor. Prime Minister Trudeau, for example, did not poke the president about his immigration policies, even though they disagree with it. In fact, ironically, you know, if you think about the Australian Prime Minister in that phone call, bears a lot of responsibility for that thing going south, because he tried to force Donald Trump to take a bad deal he negotiated with Barack Obama to take in all these refugees his country wouldn't accept. Prime Minister Trudeau's response to the travel ban was, "We'll take them." Donald Trump probably loved that. You know, yeah, okay, you can have all these refugees that are instead of sending them to the United States. Same thing with Prime Minister Abe. They got along famously. One of the things that Prime Minister Abe did was he looked at Donald Trump's domestic agenda and he said, infrastructure. Japan wants to invest in American infrastructure. And energy, that's a big priority for you. We'd like to buy more U.S. energy. So I think our allies around the world are figuring out ways to work with Donald Trump and see what his priorities are and find a way to work with him on those.
That's fascinating. Marc Thiessen, thank you very much for joining us, sir. Much obliged, as always.
Thank you, Stuart. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Happening right now, the Senate voting.